March Madness. One of the craziest times of the sports year. We've got buzzer beaters. We've got upsets. We've got coaches punching each other in the face. We've got more upsets. March is one of the most exciting times for sports out of the whole year, and every sports fan is so excited to make the perfect bracket that always ends up as shit. In fact, the odds of actually getting a perfect bracket is 1 in 9 quadrillion.
Say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
But in today's video, you are going to see the first perfect bracket ever. Be sure to like and subscribe, because if you don't, you hate puppies. And if you disagree with me, and I'm sure you will, let me know who you think's gonna win in the comments below, and enjoy the video. Alright, so I'm gonna go round by round here. I'm gonna start in the west. First, we've got Gonzaga and Georgia State. I think Georgia State is the best 16 seed in the tournament, and I think that they can be ranked higher than a 16 seed, but they're still going to get blown out. I don't know if Gonzaga will cover the spread. I know it's at like 23. That's a pretty big spread, but it's also Gonzaga. So, Boise and Memphis. I have bet against Memphis quite a few times this year, and it has not worked out well. I bet against them when they played Houston. It did not work well. They covered the spread every time. And not only do I think they're going to cover the spread, I think they're going to win. I think they're favorites as a 9. It's weird to see Boise as an 8, as a Mountain West team. 8 and 9s are weird, though. I think all of them in this tournament are kind of hard to choose, but I'm going to go with Memphis here. Uconn and New Mexico State. I feel like New Mexico is always a 12. Like anytime they make the tournament, it's always at a 12 seed. It's never lower and it's never higher. And 5-12 is like the most picked upset. So, with that being said, Uconn is still going to win. I don't think New Mexico stands a chance. Just like how Vermont doesn't stand a chance either. They have the spread at Arkansas -5. And I think that's ridiculous. Because 13-4. I know Vermont just won their conference championship by 39 over UMBC. But still, 5-point spread for a 4 and a 13 game, I think that's crazy. Alabama against Rutgers or Notre Dame. In a few hours is when Rutgers and Notre Dame are going to be playing for me. So I think this will be posted after the game happens. I think Rutgers is going to win this game. And I also think Rutgers is going to win. If they win, they're going to beat Alabama. But if they don't win and Notre Dame wins, I don't know. I don't think Notre Dame can beat Alabama. I think Rutgers can, but I don't think Notre Dame can. So let's say Notre Dame wins. I'm just going to go with Alabama. I hold a grudge against them because last year I picked them to win the championship. They lost in the second round. So I'm still going to pick them in case Rutgers doesn't win. But if Rutgers wins, I might have to come back in here and switch that. Texas Tech is going to win, no problem. One of the best defenses in the nation, if not the best. And it's against a 14 seed Montana State, so no problem there. I think Michigan State will have a problem with Davidson, but I don't know. I don't like Michigan State. They started playing really bad at the end of the season, especially when conference play started. But I don't know. I just can't see Davidson beating them. So I'm going to pick Michigan State. I don't like it, but I really don't like Davidson either. So Michigan State's going to go to the next round. Duke and Fullerton. Obviously, Duke's going to win that. Don't even really need to talk about it. I'm going to go to the South now. As of right now, the game just started. Wright versus Bryant. It doesn't matter who wins this game because Arizona's going to win. But I think that Wright State is going to beat Bryant. I know Bryant has like the highest score in college basketball, but these picks really don't matter just because it's a 16 seed. Like the Rutgers one is different because it's an 11 seed, and I like all the 11 and 6 matchups. I'll touch on it later, but for this one, obviously Arizona's going to win. Another team I like is Seton Hall. I know TCU has a solid defense, but I'm really high on like all the Big East teams that are in the tournament. So I'm going to go with Seton Hall on this one. I haven't watched too many, if I even have watched any TCU games. So I'm going to go with Seton Hall on this one. Houston and UAB. I'm going to go with Houston. I don't think I've paid attention to a couple UAB games. I think they're blowing teams out of the water, but I'm still going to ride with Houston on this one. Although every time I do bet on Houston to either win or cover, they always fuck me over. Hopefully it is different this time, but Illinois and Chattanooga. I picked Illinois to win the tournament last year. They also let me down, just like Alabama. But I don't think they'll let me down here. I'm going to go with Illinois. Chattanooga is a lot of people's Cinderella team. But I don't know. I don't think. It's hard to really predict a Cinderella team. And it's hard to predict all these upsets that might happen. But I don't like this one. I'm going to go with Illinois. An upset I do like happening, though, is Michigan over Colorado State. They got a really good draw as an 11 seed to play Colorado State, which is so weird seeing them as a 6 seed. I don't know if they're even better than Boise State or not. I think they've beat them before. I don't know if it'll show it on here. No, it doesn't. Anyway, I think Michigan wins this easy. They're favorites as an 11 seed, which is very weird. But they're going to face Tennessee in the next round, and then obviously Tennessee is going to win that. But I'm doing this round right now. Loyola Chicago, who destroyed my bracket a few years ago, and Ohio State. I hate Ohio State. And I also shouldn't bet against God and Sister Jean. But I'm going to anyway. Ohio State's go to the next round. Villanova and Delaware. Villanova's going to beat our president's school.
By the way, I got my Eagles jacket on.
Kansas and Texas Southern. Kansas. Another Mountain West team and another Big East team. Creighton stomped Providence in the Big East tournament. They ended up losing to Villanova, but still. I like my Big East teams, so I'm going to go Creighton on this one. If Richmond was playing any other team, I would like them. If they were playing St. Mary's, I could see this upset. If they were playing Uconn, maybe. If they were playing Houston, I could see it. But for this one, Iowa is just way too hot right now. So Iowa's going to go to the next round. This game, the spread is so close. I don't understand. I mean, South Dakota State is like on a huge win streak. I think it's like 18. They have a really good offense, but I still think Providence is one of the best teams in the country. They were on a roll. Then it started to slow down at the end of the year, especially when they got whooped by Creighton. This line is -2 for Providence, which is just weird. I'm going to go with Providence. For how everyone's hyping up South Dakota State, I wouldn't be surprised if they got the upset, but I'm still going to roll with Providence. LSU and Iowa State. I like the 11 seed here. I read something when I was filling out one of my a million brackets that said Iowa State has everything that you want in a Cinderella team. I have not watched a lot of LSU or Iowa State games, but LSU does not have their coach. I think they just fired him or something. So I'm going to go with the team that actually has their head coach, who they've had all year, I'm assuming. Iowa State is going to the next round to play Wisconsin. I don't think I even need to really touch on that game. USC and Miami is a hard one for me. I don't like either school for different reasons, mainly because of football, but I'm going to go with USC. I could see either team winning here, but I'm just going to go with the Trojans. They're going to play Auburn. Baylor is going, obviously, Norfolk State, 16 seed. Don't see it happening. UNC and Marquette. I like Marquette, but I can't go against UNC this early. So I'm going to actually take the 8 for this one. Did I take the 8 in the other one? I did. So 2 8s and 2 9s. St. Mary's in Indiana. I have been going back and forth on this for a very long time. But after watching Indiana in the Big Ten tournament, I have to go with them. 5-12 upset. The only one that I'm picking. Right. 5-12 upset. Indiana's going to beat St. Mary's. UCLA is going to handle Akron easy. And then another 11 seed is going to win. Virginia Tech is on fire right now, especially after winning the ACC tournament and knocking off Duke in the process. Texas has not been all that impressive for how highly seeded they are for me. So I'm going to go with Virginia Tech. Purdue and Yale. I thought Princeton was going to be here. Weirdly enough, I watched a lot of Ivy League basketball this year because I was constantly betting on Princeton and Yale. But I thought Princeton was going to win the tournament. Unfortunately, they did not. And Purdue's going to win this one. Murray State and San Francisco. I see a lot of people going back and forth on this one. I haven't really gone back and forth on it. I think Murray State's going to win. But some people have picked it like 6 out of 6 brackets. Some people, I think it'll be a good game, but I still see Murray State winning. Kentucky, obviously. So we're going to go to the second round. Gonzaga and Memphis. Gonzaga. Nothing much to that game. I just don't think anyone this early can stop Gonzaga. Uconn and Arkansas. I like both of these teams. I've bet on both of these teams a lot during the year. I like JD Note a lot, but I like my Big East teams. It's really hard, but I'm going to go with Arkansas here. Bama and Texas Tech. Texas Tech easily. I don't think Alabama is consistent enough to go very far in this tournament. They can play really good. They beat Gonzaga earlier in the year, but then they just lose some games that they should not lose. They're very inconsistent, and I think Texas Tech is going to eat them up on defense. Michigan State and Duke. I think Duke handles Michigan State pretty easily. Arizona and Seton Hall. Arizona. Houston and Illinois. This one's really hard for me. I think I have this in like all of my brackets. But I go back and forth every single time. So I'm going to say that Illinois is looking for a little bit of revenge from last season and their early exit. I'm going to go with Illinois. Moving on. Tennessee and Michigan. Tennessee, I think Michigan is not going to have a Cinderella run, but I think that they have a good matchup in the first round. That's the only reason they're in the second round. Tennessee is going to handle them pretty easily. Villanova and Ohio State. Same thing. Villanova, easy. Kansas and Creighton. Creighton has shown flashes of being a very good team. And they've also shown flashes of being a very mid team. So I'm going to go with Kansas. Consistently a good team. Not as powerful as they usually are. I think that they are probably the weakest number one. But I still think that they'll get it done against Creighton. Iowa and Providence. I've been following Providence all year. Watson is a stud. Jared Bynum is a stud. But Iowa is just too hot right now. Iowa is going to the next round. Iowa State and Wisconsin. The supposed perfect Cinderella team. Iowa State against Wisconsin in March. I don't know if this is the game that's in Milwaukee or not. Either way, Wisconsin moving on. USC and Auburn. I think Auburn, no contest, is just going to roll USC. Baylor and UNC. I think Baylor. Blue blood is going to get taken out. But the other blue blood in UCLA, or another blue blood, is going to move on. I like Indiana. I think they're a really good 12 seed. But I don't see them beating UCLA. Something inside of me is telling me to pick Virginia Tech. However, I am not going to do it. I want to very much, but I'm not going to do it. Murray State and Kentucky. I want Murray State to win this game. I'm a big fan of Murray State. But they're not going to win this game. I don't know. No. Kentucky's going to win this game. Gonzaga and Arkansas. Now it's getting harder for Gonzaga. Can Arkansas do it, though? I don't think so. I think they can. Do I think they will? No. Texas Tech and Duke. Texas Tech. Coach K, I'm sorry. But your farewell tour is not going to end very happy. You're going to get locked down by Texas Tech. And they're going to go to the Elite Eight. Elite Eight? Yeah, Elite Eight. Arizona and Illinois. Arizona, I think they're one of the best. They're one or two best in the nation. It's between them and Gonzaga. But I don't know. I think I'd say they're better than Gonzaga, honestly. Fuck, I don't know. It's so hard. But they're going to beat Illinois either way. Tennessee and Villanova. I like both of these teams a lot. I think Tennessee should not be a 3 seed. They should be a 2 seed. Kentucky should not be a 2 seed. They deserve to be a 2 seed. But they do not deserve to be a 2 seed while Tennessee is a 3 seed. And with that, Tennessee is going to beat Villanova. Kansas and Iowa. The weakest number 1 seed, in my opinion. Going against the hottest team in the country, who is just dropping points on everybody's heads. Iowa is going to win. Big upset. 5-1. Big upset. Not a huge upset, but a big upset. Wisconsin and Auburn. Oh, this one's hard. This one is hard. Oh my gosh. Oh, fuck. Okay, I gotta go back. I gotta come back to that one. Baylor and UCLA. Defending champs versus last year's Cinderella team, who somehow made the Final Four as an 11 seed. And they have a lot of that team back. They have Johnny Juzang, they have Jaime Jaquez, and they have Tiger Campbell. I could be missing a few players. I probably am. I honestly don't know a lot of players from Baylor. But if Johnny Juzang, this is going to be the case for all of their games, except for maybe the first round. If Johnny Juzang can score some points, be the player he was in last year's tournament, they will beat Baylor. And I think he can do that. So I think they're moving on to the Elite Eight. And they will play Kentucky. They shouldn't be that 2 seed, but they are going to beat Purdue. I have all the Elite Eight games decided except for Wisconsin and Auburn. Dubconson versus Jabari Smith and Auburn. I love Wisconsin in March, but Auburn has been really good this year. I gotta go with Auburn on this one. It's a hard one. It can go either way. It's a 3v2. But I gotta go with Auburn. Gonzaga and Texas Tech. Elite Eight matchup. Rematch from 2019, I think. 2019, 2018. Anyway, it's a rematch from a few years ago. And something tells me to pick Texas Tech because of their defense. But also, it's Gonzaga. Can Gonzaga win the championship this year? I don't know. But it seems weird to put them in to not put them in the Final Four. They're due. They are due. But fuck. Gonzaga. I don't like that. That's a hard game to tell. And so is this one. All of these games are hard. Arizona and Tennessee. I really like Tennessee. Oh, man. Who are the other matchups? I gotta skip it. UCLA. I'll go to UCLA and Kentucky. Oh, man. These are all so hard. Okay. I'm just going to pick. I'm going to pick UCLA. Blue blood versus blue blood. They've got the experience. They've got the team from last year, basically. I got to go with UCLA. Iowa and Auburn. Man. Iowa. Iowa or Auburn? Iowa? Auburn. Arizona. Oh my God, dude. These are so hard to pick. Why did I set these matchups up? Arizona. Arizona and Auburn. Final answer. 1, 1, 2, and 4. 1, 1, 2, and 4. That's kind of mad. Little mad and madness. Not super madness, but a 4. Here's some madness. UCLA is going to the championship. I think they lost to Gonzaga already this year. Revenge game. That's what I'm calling. Revenge game. UCLA is going to the championship. Arizona and Auburn. Arizona. Pac-12. 2 Pac-12 teams in the championship. A rematch from this weekend. And 2 times earlier in the season. Who am I going to pick? Arizona and that tall-ass motherfucker who plays center? Who literally just tips up rebounds to himself. He like towers over everybody. Or UCLA. UCLA is winning the national championship. If Johnny Juzang can actually score, if he can come up clutch, perform when the team needs him. He was performing against Arizona in the Pac-12 championship game. There was a stretch where he was their only scorer for like 5 minutes. Jaime Jaquez also needs to pop the fuck off. And the final score prediction. 75-73. Finish the bracket. UCLA is my pick to win March Madness.